Welcome to CBSE English Tutorial, a visual guide.
Hey everyone, today we're going to demystify something on your CBSE Class 11 English syllabus that, let's be honest, can look a little tricky. Gap-filling exercises. But here's the secret. They're not just about passing an exam, nope. They're actually one of the best ways to really get a handle on the fundamental building blocks of English. So let's jump right in and tackle this together.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to get a bird's eye view of your whole English syllabus. Then, we'll zoom right into the grammar section to see where gap filling fits in. After that, we'll get into what these exercises really are. And, the most important part, we'll look under the hood at the engine that makes them work, tenses and clauses. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by talking about why this stuff is so crucial for you. Ready? Let's do this.
First things first, let's get our bearings. Before we zero in on the details, we got to see the bigger picture. Think of this as the complete map for your Class 11 English journey. When we understand the whole landscape, it's way easier to see why each little part is so important.
So just take a look at this breakdown. Your syllabus is really designed to be a full workout for all your language skills. You've got reading, you've got this powerhouse section of grammar and creative writing, and of course, literature, plus your internal assessment. It's just a great reminder that being good at English is about so much more than just reading stories.
Okay, now that we've seen the whole map, let's zoom in on our target. We're heading straight for Section B, Grammar and Creative Writing. This is where we stop just understanding language and start actively building with it. This is where the real magic happens.
And there it is, right there in the official curriculum, questions on gap filling. And look, it even tells you what it's about. Tenses and clauses. The syllabus is literally giving us a huge hint here. This isn't just some random activity, it's a core part of your training, and we know exactly what it's testing.
So, let's get down to it. What exactly is a gap-filling exercise? I'm sure you've been there, staring at a sentence with that weird blank space in the middle, just wondering what on earth is supposed to go there. Well, that's exactly what we're about to break down.
So, at its simplest, a gap-filling exercise is just a text with some words missing that you have to fill in. But, and this is the important part, it's not a guessing game. Not at all. It's a precision test. It's designed to check your grammar, your ability to read the context, and your vocabulary all at the same time.
Today, I'm giving you the 2 master keys that will unlock pretty much any gap-filling question you come across. So, let's grab our first key. This one is absolutely fundamental to making sense in English. Mastering tense. Seriously, if you can get this right, you are already halfway there. So what exactly is tense? Well, think of it like the timeline for your sentence. It's the little signal that tells us when something is happening. Did it happen yesterday? Is it happening right now? Or is it going to happen tomorrow? Tense gives our words a sense of time and order. So how do you find the right tense? It's actually a pretty simple 3-step process. First, you put on your detective hat and look for clues. I call them time marker words. Step 2, you use those clues to figure out the time frame. And finally, step 3, you pick the verb that fits that time perfectly. And here are some of those clues I'm talking about. Words like yesterday or last week are dead giveaways that you're in the past. On the other hand, things like every day or right now scream present tense. Spotting these little words is your first and, honestly, most important mission. Okay, you ready for a quick practice run? Let's try it. Research, blank, that cycling is a good exercise. The verb you need to work with is show. So, what do you think the right form is here? The answer is shows. Now, you might be thinking, hold on, there's no yesterday or right now in there. And you're right. That's because this sentence is stating a general fact, a kind of universal truth. And for those big, timeless ideas, we almost always use the simple present tense. So, research shows. Fantastic. You've got the first key down. Now, let's get our hands on the second key, understanding clauses. If you think of a sentence like a house, clauses are kind of like the individual rooms that make it up. Okay, clause. I know it sounds a little technical, but don't let the word scare you. All it is a mini sentence. It's just a group of words that has its own subject and verb. The most important thing to remember is that these little mini sentences often need a special connecting word to hook them onto the main part of the sentence. And here they are. This is your toolkit of those special connector words. We're talking about words like that, what, who, where, and if. These little guys do all the heavy lifting, linking our ideas together so they make sense. Knowing which one to grab is the whole secret. For example, let's look at a really common mix-up, that versus whether. The rule here is actually super simple. You use that when you're sure about something. I know that he will come. It's a fact. But you use whether when there's some doubt. I don't know whether he will come. See? It's all about how certain you are. All right, you've officially got both keys in your hand, the tense key and the clause key. Now this is where the real fun begins. The real mastery comes when you start using them together to unlock the trickier sentences. Let's tackle this one. He said that if his parents blank him permission, he blank go abroad. The words we need to fit in are give and will. This one's a puzzle that needs both of your keys to solve. Okay, so how do we even start to break this down? Well, let's pull out our tense key first. See that phrase, he said? That's our huge clue. It immediately tells us this whole thing is happening in the past. Now let's grab our clause key. The word if kicks off a conditional clause. And here's the trick. Because the main verb said is in the past, everything else in the sentence has to take a step back in time too. It's like a domino effect. So give becomes gave, and will becomes would. And there you have it. The answer is gave and would. If his parents gave him permission, he would go abroad. See how that just clicks into place? You spotted the tense clue, you understood the clause, and you solved it. Perfect! You are doing awesome. Let's sharpen those new skills with a little rapid fire round. I'll throw a sentence at you, and you solve the puzzle. You ready for this? First one up. She said that she blank to lock the door. The verb is forget. Now think carefully about the timeline. What happened first, her forgetting or her saying it? The correct answer here is had forgotten. And why is that? Well, because we have two things that happened in the past. First, she forgot to lock the door. Then, later, she said something about it. To show that the forgetting happened even before the saying, we use this cool thing called the past perfect tense, had forgotten. It's like a little time machine inside your sentence. Okay, next one. This one is all about that second key we talked about. The police are still trying to determine blank the stolen jewelry was hidden. Which one of our connector words fits in there? And the answer is where. This one's pretty straightforward, right? The police are looking for a location, a place. So the connector word that talks about a place is, you guessed it, where. Simple, logical, done. Fantastic job. We've gone through quite a bit, so let's just zoom out for a second and boil all of this down into one simple, powerful strategy you can use every single time. So here it is, your two-key strategy. Step 1, always hunt for those tense clues. Is this past, present, or future? Step 2, figure out what kind of connection the sentence needs. Do you need to talk about a person, a place, an idea? If you just follow these 2 steps, you're going to find a clear path to the right answer almost every time. And that's really all there is to it. But I want to leave you with one final thought. Grammar isn't just a bunch of boring rules you have to memorize for a test. It's actually the hidden logic of language. And the more you look for patterns like these 2 keys we talked about today, the more you'll realize you're not just learning rules, you're actually solving cool little puzzles. So my question to you is, what other patterns can you spot?
Thank you for watching. See you again in a bit.